Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start with a couple designs. We're gonna design a couple of things. Your paper will look like this. We're just gonna practice some designs. So the first design we're gonna start with is a gingerbread man. So we're just gonna draw a circle. Go ahead and do that. And then his arms. One arm and one arm. Then I'm just gonna kind of sketch out his body a little bit, lightly. Gonna come out like this. So then go ahead and draw that. His foot goes like that. Same with his other foot. And then you're gonna draw it up to a point on both sides. Little smiley face. Zigzags for the frosting. I want to be pretty simple. The gingerbread men are simple. And then a bow tie, and you could do that in a color. We can color it in white with these, and then we can layer it with another color over it later. Some buttons. And there you have our little gingerbread man. I'm also gonna teach you how to do a bow. You can put this on the top or bottom of a wreath if you'd like, or you can put it maybe underneath some windowsills or things like that. So just start with a circle, then a loop, and another loop, about the same. Bring a line down on both sides and connect. Just bring it down. Bring it down. And there you have a little bow. Let me actually make it a little fatter right there. And then I put little lines, and there's a little bow. You can also do a simpler bow just by doing 2 loops and a little line like that. Okay, we're gonna draw a couple examples of trim. So I'm gonna just draw 2 lines right here and make this a rectangle. We could say that this is part of like a windowsill or something, or the side of a building. Then you would just draw 2 lines going that way, and then you would color every other one in. And that could be Candycane look. You also, let's do another one. Same thing. Coloring every other one in white. Then you maybe would color the other one red or another color. And then you can put a line through. Okay. Now we're gonna do another, so sticking with that same paper, now we're gonna do another little design. Put a dot right here, 2 loops up, loop up, and loop up. You could color those in white, or you could also color those in with another color. We'll practice doing a heart. You can do lots of different designs with a heart. You could just do dots going down. I could also do a loop going up like this, a swirl, and then a loop going up the other way, coming in like that. Also, there's another thing that I really like to do. You take a line and you go like this, and then you make little hearts. Along, and then you would color those in. You can also color them in another color. I think they look really good in white though. And then you could put little dots, make it cute. Little dots kind of add a lot in this project. I did that around the wreath right here. So when you're drawing your wreath, you can do that there. And in the video, I do show you how to do the wreath. Oh, another thing that's important is to do the peppermint patty or the peppermint candy. Just draw a sketch of a circle and then put a dot in the middle, and your lines are going to come into that dot. I like to kind of move my paper around so I can see that line that I'm drawing and make sure that I draw the same line all the way around. And then you would just color every other one in. I'm just going to lightly do that right now. Right now for practice, you don't need to worry about coloring in hard just because we're practicing. And then you would do every other one red or pink or whatever color you decide. A candy cane. It's just a hook. And then you just come in and go like that. If you do need to sharpen, just do quick sharpening. I just go around 1 or 2 times. And then you would just do little stripes on the candy cane and you would color them in. Every other color would be white. You don't have to do that right now. You can really quickly, just really quick light color just to see. Also, one really important thing that I'm going to teach you, if you could go to the curve, or actually, I'm sorry, the corner of your paper, I'm going to show you how to do the roof. This is something that I see on almost all the gingerbread houses, so I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to stop right about there. You can go ahead and do that also, and then stop. And then the next row is going to be in between each one, so you're connecting each one. So you start in the bottom middle of each one and you connect. If you wanted to get pretty detailed, I think it looks really cute, but it takes a lot, is to do scallops on top of that all the way around. It looks really cute, but it's a little extra work. You also can do like little candies in the middle if you want. That works really cute too. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Okay, what else? There's lots of options, there's lots of things, there's lots of dots, lots of swirls. You know, you can do, if you're doing a swirl that comes in like this, you would do one that goes opposite of it, kind of going the other way, making a heart. That looks really cute. When you put that around, you can do little dots, designing with little dot details. So just look at the examples that I provided on the slideshow and decide the different designs that you like. And you can practice those a little bit on this paper right now. And then when it's time to design, you can put them on your design. So just kind of play around, practice a little bit. Oh, there's one more little really simple design you can do. That's where you're just looping like this with the icing. Kind of loops around. That's kind of fun and easy to add detail. Before we go ahead and start the gingerbread house, I did forget something that I want to make sure to tell you about. It's on your gingerbread house. I forgot to show you how to do a chimney in the video. So when you're drawing, if you decide that you want to add a chimney, you're going to need to do it on your own. Let me just show you. So this is the first one I did. So this one has a chimney on it. So when you're doing the triangle, if you start here and draw a line up, then you would just draw a line to connect, then draw the line across and create a chimney. Here I did the icing on it too. I thought that was really cute to kind of match. Let me just show you, like, let's just say this is your roof. So you would draw a line that goes down, and then this line would be shorter to connect. Just draw a line across and over, and then that would be your chimney. And then you can add little drips if you want, and you can design that if you want. So if you'd like to add that in on your house when you're doing it, go ahead and do that, but it is not presented in the video. All right, after you're done with your playing around your examples, make sure to kind of keep this aside so that you can refer to it as you draw. Okay, so before you begin, we're gonna have a little bit of space on the top and the bottom. So I'd make like just a little dash right here and a little dash right there. The reason is because we're gonna be cutting it out. We wanna have a border all around it. And you also wanna make sure you have a border at the top. So you're gonna have your house start about here at the roof, and you're gonna wanna draw a line at the bottom. So after it's about a finger width, go ahead and draw a line down at the bottom, go all the way across. It doesn't have to be straight, don't worry about that. And then about a finger width from the top, I'd say right about here on your page, go ahead and draw a dot. So see how I have about a finger width? Okay, so go ahead and draw the dot there. Okay, that'll be the top of the house. Then we're gonna draw a basic house shape. We're gonna use most of this space for the front part of the house and then a little bit of this for the side. So I'm going to draw the triangle. You can go ahead and do that. And then I'm gonna draw it coming down. Right about, you wanna try to, if you had a line going across, I'm actually gonna draw that line across. You want it to be about even. Oops. Bring that down. Okay, so then that's a basic house. And then now to give it a three-dimensional shape, we're going to draw a line. So just go ahead and draw this line and then stop. So go ahead and do that. Then we're gonna draw another line here from here to here. But right now I'm just gonna draw it a little bit short because I don't know where it's gonna go, because we're gonna use some laws of perspective and lines of drawing that we've used before. So we're gonna create a line that's parallel here, that's parallel to this line here. So we need to be looking at this line, and that line is what we're gonna be drawing, that parallel line is what we're gonna be drawing here. So I'm gonna start at the roof, and I'm gonna be looking at this line, and I'm gonna lightly draw this line parallel. So this line should be parallel to this line, and once it is, and I'm ready to be finished with that, I'm just gonna draw that line in. Okay, then I'm just gonna darken that in. Okay, so you can go ahead and do that now. Okay, now I'm gonna draw this line coming down. Now, if you wanted to draw a gingerbread man, you can draw it here. So I would just gonna draw a little line right here. If you wanna draw a gingerbread man right about here, you can. You could also do one of those gingerbread Christmas trees that I showed you. You don't wanna do anything here because we are gonna be cutting it out and it looks kind of strange. You want it to be more of like a gingerbread shape. So if you want to draw a gingerbread man, you can do it right here. Just one. We don't want to get too crazy with it because you don't want it to take away from your cute house. Also, you do want to make sure it's to scale. So you don't want it to be super big. If we're going to be drawing a door, which let's go ahead and draw the door right now. So I'm going to draw a round door. Let me just draw it first, then you can decide. If you would like to draw a round door, you can. You could also do a rectangle door as well. So go ahead and draw your door. Then decide if you want to do a gingerbread. You can if you want, you don't have to. You also could do a gingerbread tree if you'd like. That's one of the I'm going to draw one of the gingerbread trees that you saw. Just kind of rounded, and as it gets down, it's bigger. okay? So pick one or the other, or none at all, that's fine. Okay, so then now we have our house. So we're gonna go through step by step. Each little part, I want you to create your own designs, but there are certain guidelines I want you to follow, and I'll let you know as we go. So the most important part is the roof. When I was looking at different gingerbread houses and examples, I found that almost all of the houses had this scalloped shape. So let me show you. So this is, I did a scalloped shape here, and then I even took a little further and I did the scallop on top of the scallop. You can do that if you want to, you don't have to. Also, you want to make sure that the scallops are pretty large to start. You don't want teeny tiny scallops because that will take a really long time, and you don't want them that small. Think about it as frosting. So it should be about the tip of your finger, about that length. So when you're thinking about how long it should be, I would say about this much. So to start, I'm gonna start here. We're just gonna make a row. So see how large they are? It's about the tip, about like this much of my finger, about an inch long. And I started right about here because I wasn't sure how far it's gonna go. Try to make them the same length and the same width. Now this was gonna go over, but not be the whole thing, and then you'll just stop right there. Same with this one. I'm just gonna imagine what it would look like if it was there. Okay, so now the second part, you're gonna be connecting the middle of each loop. So I'm gonna start at this loop. If this was to go down, imaginary, imaginary, and then it would come up here. So the middle of the loops that you just did are gonna be where you're gonna connect those lines. So those will connect, okay? So see how I'm making them large enough? You can go ahead now and start, as long as you remember. Oh wait, before you start though, just notice how this second row I'm going into the middle of each loop, just like I did at the top. So each row will be a little bit different, just like when you're making bricks, because you want it to be opposite of each other. Okay, so now you can go ahead and start. We did practice, so I think you'll be good with that. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and then stop when you're finished. Okay, now that we've done that, we're gonna go ahead and do the snow. So the snow is actually the icing. So watch how I do this. I'm just starting at the corner, and then I'm just doing squiggly lines, different lengths. Some are small, some are big. Maybe just like a couple small and then a big. And I'm just kind of going all the way through, making squiggly lines. They're like little icicles, dripping snow, dripping icicles. All the way to the end, okay? So then that's done, and what you can do once you start drawing, I'm just gonna do like the instruction part, and then you'll be able to do this on your own, but you'd be coloring this in. So we're not gonna do that yet. When you're free to kind of go through and do your details and everything like that, you're gonna wanna do that, but you're gonna wanna go through and color that in. That'll take a little while, but just be patient with it. You do wanna make sure you get all of it colored in. After you do it once, you might need to go through like as a second coat and just kind of get the little places that still have a little bit of brown showing. But the harder you color it in and the more attention to detail, the better that it'll look. Okay, so you can come back to that. If you want to start, just take a minute and start it. I'll let you go ahead and do that. So take a minute and just start it, and then we'll stop, and then you can finish later. Okay, so now the next thing you're gonna wanna do, you're gonna wanna have something. Okay, so then now after you've colored that, now we're gonna be thinking about what we wanna put here. So you could put, there's a couple different things that you could put here. You could do a heart right here. You could do a window. If you wanna do one of those peppermint patties, you can. You can also do a wreath. So I'm gonna show you how to do a wreath. You don't have to do a wreath here if you don't want to. You could also do a wreath on the door. That would be cute. Or you could like put a peppermint patty on the door, but something needs to be in this spot right here. So I'm gonna show you how to do the wreath. So I'm just gonna do a really light white circle. Okay, so go ahead and do that if you're gonna do a wreath. If not, if you're gonna do a peppermint patty, you can do the peppermint patty here. Remember, that would be going like that all the way around. We practiced that. Okay, so then for the wreath, I'm just gonna do little lines that are like this. I'm gonna do it pretty lightly because I'm gonna go over it with green. And then you're gonna do the other side also, like that. Before you fill it in, you're gonna wanna draw your bow here. So I'm gonna stop and get out the red for my bow. Again, remember that's a circle, so that's gonna pretty much go in the middle. So I'm gonna do my circle, 2 loops. So if you're doing a bow, go ahead and do that. Again, you can also do a wreath here or here too. Connecting, and fill that in. Then bring the red down. Then you can do the little, I would just kind of go around it with a little bit of white. The little insides. So see how I just kind of shaded it with white? And shade the inside. You're gonna want to shade the little ties also. Okay, and then when it's time to color, you can go ahead and color it in green. Or you can go ahead and do that now. So I just take the brighter green and I just go around it, kind of making these little lines. They're not perfect, they're just kind of sketchy lines. And then I go on the inside. And then you're just gonna kind of fill it in, kind of like a messy, just kind of like sketchy lines this way. Make sure you cover up whatever white you did. Then you can go back with a darker green to give it that shading, give it that look. Today when we're using colors, we want to be layering color. So you're going to be using a lighter color and a darker color. So here we used lighter green, and now we're going to be using darker green. So the dark is going to accent the light. Okay, so then that's a wreath. And again, you can put it in a different spot if you'd like. Okay, so then something needs to be here. And then you also do want something on the door. You could do a wreath, you could do a window. You don't have to do a wreath or a window, but make sure it has some kind of pattern to it. Here I did a little peppermint patty for the doorknob, and then I just did kind of a striped door, and then I decided to do an accent around it. So just decide what you want to do for the door. We're gonna go back, we're gonna use color in a little bit. We're not gonna use color just yet, but just make a decision about what you're gonna do. Go ahead now and make a line around your door, whether it's rectangle or rounded, and you're gonna wanna do some kind of design right here. So think of the design you want to do. You could do the stripes. You could do like the candy cane stripes. You could do swirls. You could do the loop-de-loops. You could do hearts. You could do let's see. I'm just looking at different things. Peppermints, stars, you could do different things. I'm gonna do, so here I did the peppermint. I kind of like use that as my accent. Here I'm gonna do circles because I'm gonna do like circular candy. So do some kind of design around the door. So go ahead and do that now. I'm gonna add little dots in between. So a lot of the houses, when you look at them, they have a lot of dots, a lot of swirls, a lot of the emphasis is on the frosting. Okay, so then now we have some space on each side of the door. So decide what you want to do. Do you want to do some windows right here? Do you want to do some swirls? Do you want to do some diamondy windows? Look at the different choices that you have on the slideshow and decide what you want to do. So go ahead now and decide what you want to do on the sides of the door and do that now. So I'm going to have you pause and do that now. Okay, so I just went ahead and I finished the designs right here. I just did some little swirls right here, and I colored them in. I also did a little heart and some details, just some swirls and hearts. And then you can do something down here along the ground. If you want to do gumdrops, you could do the gumdrops like that. Or if you want to do some more swirls, we haven't done the loop-de-loops, you could do that. I'm just gonna do gumdrops because I think they're cute and they really add a lot of color. But then when I get to the tree, remember you're gonna kind of go around it. Also on the tree, you can think about how you want to design it. Look at the example on the slideshow. On the slideshow, there's frosting kind of going around it like this to make it look like a cookie. And then there's like some designs inside. I'm just gonna do hearts, and then I'm gonna color these hearts in with white. So that's the basics of this. Now it's time to color things in. So before you do that though, if you want to go back and add any details to the roof, if you want to do the little scalloped edges within the scalloped edge, that looks really, really cute. Also, you can do like a little candy. You can do it in white, or if you want to go back and do it in a color, you can do that also. So put the finishing touches on it. This is about ready to be colored. And then now you're gonna add color. So when you add color, you're going to want to not add a ton of different colors. You don't want it to look like Rainbow Bright. You wanna really be using the shades of Christmas. So I'm gonna be using red and green. I'm gonna wanna use a different shade of each color. So I'm gonna wanna have a light green, a light red. I'm gonna wanna have a red and some kind of pink or lighter pink. You can maybe add a yellow in here and there, but you don't want to add too much additional colors because you don't want it to be too like rainbowy. You want it to be more Christmassy, cozy, things like that. If you're looking at the different pictures on the slideshow, you'll see that they use very little additional colors. You might have like a little bit of blue in there somewhere, but whatever colors you use, make sure you have a different shade of it so you can do some shading. Okay, so pick your colors. I would say somewhere around this color palette. And then once you're ready, you can go ahead and start adding color in. So we're not just gonna color stuff in. I'm not gonna color in this whole thing. We're using these to add accents. So if I'm, so here, maybe I'm gonna add in just some stripes because I want to really just like add in color. So, what's nice about these Prismacolors is you can layer them on top of other colors. So maybe I'm just gonna add some white or some pink there, and then I'm just gonna outline with that. And that just looks really nice and thoughtful. I'm not gonna go in and color this whole thing in. If you wanted to, color in some of it, you can. Maybe you just wanna color in the part that will be like the frosting. You can go around all the white, kind of outline that and color it in, but please don't go like color in the whole roof or anything like that. You are gonna wanna color in the frosting that's dripping. You're gonna wanna color in every other color for the candy canes, but use the color sparingly, meaning just a little bit to add detail, okay? So the white, if you look at the examples, the white takes up a lot of the gingerbread house, and it's very nice because it like accents the color. That's the frosting. So be sparing with your color adding, okay? Don't add it. You can color in a couple things, like you could color in the door if you wanted. You could also just do like some stripes on it, or keep it pretty simple, okay? So go ahead now and color this in, and then you should be finished. You don't want to overdo, guys. Again, just be very thoughtful about adding color. It already probably looks really great. When we cut, let me just grab, when you're all finished, ready to cut, you're probably not going to be cutting off like cutting this part. What I like to do is I like to roughly cut it out. So you are going to be cutting like a bubble around it. I like to roughly cut. And remember, cutting a bubble, you're not cutting on the line, so don't cut on the line. So kind of roughly cut it out. Then you can go back and get in those little details. If you're nervous about cutting some spots, that's fine, just leave it. And we'll go through and trim what we need to. You want to trim around the candy cane, making a bubble, be careful not to cut off anything, and then I just cut all the way off. And that's what it should look like. So go ahead and cut, make sure to cut around. Once you're done cutting, then you can go back and add in the color detail. One more thing I wanted to talk to you guys about before you do that is the shading. So if I do want to shade things, let's say I find any opportunity you can find a shade, you should. I'm going to color in this gumdrop, a solid color, a solid pink, and then I want to shade it. So that means that I'm going to take a darker color, you can even use the red, to shade. So if the light's shining down on my gumdrop, then I'm going to be shading around right here and in the corners and then along the bottom. And then you can just kind of blend it a little bit in so that it blends in. You can also use like a darker pink for this if you want. So that's a way to shade your gumdrops. So I'll just show you one more time. Do a lighter green, and then take the darker green, shade along the side, right here, in the middle, and along the bottom. You can cover up that white. Okay, so now go ahead, have some fun. use the color to really accent your gingerbread house. All right, have fun. I can't wait to see what these look like, and I'm so excited for you guys to do this. Okay, bye.